This says, Mo, we know you have a crush on Arsenal, but as a Chelsea fan, I look at Arsenal as no threat now to us. I mean, that was one of our talking points that we haven't really got into yet, but who's the most attractive club now, in your opinion, Mo, between Arsenal and Chelsea? Are Arsenal still clear of Chelsea, as many people thought they were this summer just gone or the summer before?
No, they are not actually. And I posed this question yesterday and I answer it. If January comes in and let's say Arsenal catch up to Chelsea and Arsenal are in the same points at Chelsea and you are Victor Osimhen and Arsenal are going for you, same money, we have to always say same money. And you're offering Osimhen a 5-year contract and Arsenal offering Osimhen 5-year contract, Chelsea or Arsenal. At the current moment, looking at the Arsenal form, looking at where the project is, looking at the media pressure, I think Chelsea would be more attractive. And I think it's sad to say that because just last summer I said Arsenal are way more attractive. How things can change within 3 months because of stubbornness of a manager or the form or how we have been proven wrong. Because it doesn't mean that Chelsea will win a trophy before Arsenal, but Chelsea look like the more attractive project at the current moment. Arsenal they don't know what they want. The board doesn't know. They don't have a sporting director at the current moment. The media.
Can I ask you a question, Mo?
Can I
Tomorrow,
just finish the last point?
Carlo Ancelotti becomes Arsenal manager. Do you have the same answer?
Might not. No, might not. Might not have the same answer.
Respect. So Artete
Might not have the same answer, of course. But people don't understand. I actually
so
think
Mikel is the problem, Mo. Say it as
no, it's not that. It's one of the problems. One of the problems. The manager is a big attraction. Would Paul Pogba join Man United like this if they didn't have these names? Zlatan Ibrahimovic, would you have joined Man United if they didn't have Jose Mourinho at that time? And that's not a shame of Man United. Inter as well, when we attract players, we had big names. Managers' names are a big thing in football. So
you
to me,
players, you just sign on a free, habibi.
No, back in the days when you used to have money and you used to be in the mud and
this is true. To be fair, back in the days, yes. Back in the days, yes.
So the reality is, if you talk now, is Maresca bigger than Arteta? Absolutely not. The name is not. But I'm just going to tell you something. This is going to sound mad. With every single press conferences between the two clubs, this is going to sound mad. Maresca is making a bigger name for himself than Mikel Arteta. Press conferences. I promise you, press conferences. The way they portray themselves. If Mikel Arteta going on the press conference and saying that we won the Charity Shields, count 3 trophies for me, you're ruining yourself. Because people are making fun of you, bro. Enzo Maresca is talking to the media. I'm talking from my perspective. I'm listening to Enzo Maresca and how he talks in the media. Respect, authority, strong personality, knows what he wants. Look at the Mudryk answers today in his press conferences. Why? What are you talking? Me?
Continue.
Why are you doing that? I don't understand. Why the tissue? Why the tissue for real?
Continue.
No, I wanted to understand. I'm not crying.
No, continue. I'll tell you after the stream.
It's crazy, actually. It's crazy. No, but the reality is, Mikel Arteta yesterday saying that he has count the charity, and he literally didn't even say the Super Cup or didn't say. He said Charity Shield. He named it with the old name. You know what I mean? He named it with the old name. I'm sorry. People just people don't understand what we're talking about when a manager establishes himself as
Chelsea are not more attractive than Arsenal right now.
Okay, you can say so. I'm asking you. Let me ask you something. In January, Osimhen, would he sign for Chelsea or Arsenal? Would you advise him to sign for Chelsea or Arsenal? Honest.
Arsenal, because then if they get Osimhen, I'd be fucking worried that they're gonna have a comeback second half of the season.
I still think Chelsea at the current moment. If I'm looking if I'm a player and I'm looking at both, I'm looking Chelsea, bro. They look like they know what they're doing. Arsenal are struggling. They're struggling the pressure. They feel the pressure. They feel a lot of pressure.
So why should Chelsea get Osimhen? They have Jackson now. Khalas.
No, I gave an example of a player. It doesn't have to be Osimhen. It can be anybody else. It can be anybody else. I can give an example of Bastoni, but you say because they have Havertz and Jackson, I said any player. Let me give you another example though. Every player I say, apart from a center back or a goalkeeper, you're gonna say they have this, they have that. Because I was gonna say Wirtz, and you're gonna say, oh, but Chelsea have Palmer. Every time you're gonna say stuff like this, you're gonna come with a player. But listen, Arsenal don't have a striker. Maybe they need a left 8. You don't need center backs. But I think if I'm in January now and looking at the table and it looks like Arsenal, actually, the gap is going to be bigger between Arsenal. Do you think the gap is going to be bigger? I think the gap is going to be bigger by January 4th. Chelsea are going to be higher than Arsenal. That is what I think is going to happen, to be honest. Like, I think the gap is going to be bigger. It's going to be, what is it, 4 points now? It might be like 7. It might be 6 points by January 4th. And now what we're saying now.
All Arsenal need is a manager. I think they can get, if Carlo leaves.
You literally turned on Arteta. خلاص. Arteta's done for you.
Habibi, you have 0.2 XG against Fulham from open play. Of course I'm going to turn. I'd rather watch the paint dry. It's just not good, bro. The way that they play football, just not good. But I do think Arteta eventually will leave. Maybe he'll resign.
Resign?
Yes, because I don't think they sack him. I think he has to resign.
Wow. Arteta resigning. Maybe he walks.
Yeah, he said he was thinking about resigning the year where they bottled the league. So he might think about resigning. Chelsea is not that club. People need to understand.
Morgan look stupid at the end of the
Chelsea
season.
Are going through a really nice run right now, but Chelsea is not that club. Chelsea is not the club to like take it to the next level unless they sign unbelievable players. They need like
you trust them more to sign unbelievable players.
Yeah, but they need to have unbelievable like transfer windows to turn into title winners, you know?
Sorry about that. My daughter was upset. She's got chicken pox and she can't go to her Christmas disco, so she keeps getting upset and crying. Bless her. So I was gonna make sure she was okay. Mo has explained why. That must be an argument you guys are having. I'll leave that one there. My goat never slipped and captained a 3-3 jaw troke. This is true. I don't know who your goat is.
Your goat never got nominated for Ballon d'Or or won Man United Player of the Season hasn't made Team of the Year.
Can I ask you a question though? This is it. Would you swap all of Paul Scholes' Premier League titles for all of Steven Gerrard's personal nominations?
Not the point at all.
That is the point.
But you want to know why it's on the point? Because football is a team sport.
Yes.
If I take Gerrard and make him a Man United player, they win all that stuff as well.
Maybe not. You can't prove that.
We can, because he performed for England. Same logic.
You can't prove
it. He performed for England. Euro Team of the Season 2012, 2010.
It's a theory. It's a theory.
It's not a theory. It's based on evidence. He performed for England. Fact.
Yeah, but it's still a theory. It's only a fact if it's happened.
Yeah, but he did perform for England. It's not a theory.
Okay. But it's always, if you go back now and say, right, let's switch half the Liverpool squad and put it in the Man United one and half the Man United squad and put it in the Liverpool team, whatever anybody's predictions are, same results, different results, better results, all of that is theory because we can't actually do it.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm not going to do is punish a player for loyalty. That's like me saying Francesco Totti is not one of the best players we've seen in the Serie A because he only, like, I don't know, maybe they won it once or never won it or whatever. Like, it's just not the reality. No, I don't ever compare players. By the way, I'm doing it till this day. Did I not just tell you I'll take Saka and Palmer over Foden? Foden has all the league titles. Foden has a Champions League. I'm taking Saka and Palmer ahead of them, even though Saka has only an FA Cup, because I don't view football from the perspective of who won the team trophy. Messi was the GOAT for me without a World Cup. I didn't need the World Cup to say Messi is the GOAT.
No, I understand that, but if Messi hadn't been so brilliant in so many teams that won so many trophies, he maybe wouldn't be the GOAT.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but you need to also establish Gerrard's case is not a Harry Kane case. It's a case of he won everything except one trophy in football. So, like, I'm not just gonna punish him for being in a shit team.
And also, what the difference is between you and I is that I never say anything negative about Gerrard. I always say what a brilliant player he was. You lie about Paul Scholes by saying that he never delivered for Man United in title runs. I don't have to lie about your player to prove my one to prove from my perspective that my guy's better.
I said he didn't deliver in finals.
That's not true. He scored in an FA Cup final in a treble-winning season. You've done yourself, bro.
In an FA Cup final against who?
against a very good Newcastle back then in the late 90s when the FA Cup was a massive tournament. You done yourself.
Gerrard scored a goal against Nesta, Maldini, Cannavaro. There's a final nicknamed the Gerrard final. He's telling me he scored a goal against Newcastle.
Okay, hang on. Newcastle, very, very good team in the 90s. You said Scholes never delivered in the final. He literally scored the opening goal in a big FA Cup final in a treble-winning season. You done yourself.
But you want to know what the difference is? I'll tell you
There
the
ain't a
difference.
difference.
Gerrard's the only English player in history to score in every single type of final, even though he's a midfielder.
And he's brilliant. And I don't play. I would never lie about him doing that. I don't have to lie about Gerrard.
Okay, Terry, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you genuinely. I'll actually ask you genuinely. Let's be serious here. Forget all the banter and semantics. On a genuine level, heart to hearts, don't be a fraud. If Gerrard did move to Chelsea in 06, do you think he has 0 league titles? Be serious.
I think he would have won league titles. I agree, but it's still a theory. That cannot be used as an argument as to why he's better, because I could make a case that if Paul Scholes had moved to Inter Milan and become more of an extrovert than an introvert, then maybe he would have got more personal awards because he would have been seen as more popular, and it's all about PR. We could all make up a scenario and go, if that happened, then we'd have got more nominations for the Ballon d'Or, but we don't know. We can all
but
make
players have gotten nominations. Okay, here's the thing, Terry. The reason why my argument holds water, and it's a strong argument, is players have had nominations. I'm not asking Scholes to win a Ballon d'Or or be top 3, but players have had nominations without having personality. I'm talking about the likes of Mason Mount and Wijnaldum and others being nominated.
I don't disagree with you. All I am saying is, in every scenario where we're creating a hypothetical, we can all create hypotheticals, and there's almost no way to prove it or disprove it. Some hypotheticals hold more water than others based on evidence, and I think Gerrard probably would have won a league title. However,
thank you.
And I think he could have been very influential in winning it. However, that cannot be a string to his bow because it didn't happen.
No. I'm not making a string to his bow.
Same as our argument. If we take it away from awards, you think Gerrard's better because he delivered in seasons where his team was crap. That's like me saying, well, I think Scholes would have delivered in a crap team. I can't prove it though, can I? But I can say it.
But okay, I understand what you're saying. Scholes himself said, like, I don't think he said it himself. Okay, it's not me making it up. He said he doesn't think he could have done what Gerrard did for Liverpool. The thing is about Gerrard is my argument has never been just individual trophies. You always make it out like it's just individual trophies.
No, I don't.
Okay, in my opinion, Steven Gerrard is the most complete midfielder we've seen in Premier League history. As in, can he do everything on the pitch? Yes. And this has been something that's been mentioned by a lot of people in this argument.
He's a very, very, very talented player. I've never said anything negative about him. What you just said there, though, about what Scholes said, I'm not going to allow Scholes' character as an extremely humble person. And he isn't the only one from the class of 92. The way Gary Neville talks about himself as a player, you would have thought he was trash. And I'm not going to allow the humility of a world-class player who doesn't personally care if he's seen as better or worse dictate whether I think something or not. Because I think what Scholes says about himself, I think what Neville says about themselves is poor. And a lot of managers are like that. There are some managers where if you ask Jose who's the best, he just says me. I remember Ronaldo, before he was the best in the world, said, I'm the greatest player of all time. Others will always say somebody else. I think Pele would often say other people when he was seen universally as that guy. But I hear your point. I'm never going to slag Gerrard off.